For the rest of these sessions, we'll assume that you know the link to your Zoom classroom and you know how to get there, whether it's by clicking a link in email or in your course website or directly from Zoom itself. So I'm going to start this up. We'll get the recording message.
Recording in progress.
And then we'll have a test student come into the class. All right, so you can hear the little ding telling us that the student is there.
Recording in progress.
Okay, and I'll keep this muted so we don't get feedback problems. And now you'll see the view here. So ideally, my other test computer here does not have a video camera, so we're not going to see me repeat it again, but we'll make believe that we have this student camera on, or an icon at least, or profile photo. And some of the things that you want to do, obviously you'll want to talk. We want to create as strong a connection as we can with our students, and so it is important to have your video on and keep your audio on whenever it's possible. Right, we're going to get feedback because this is coming through the microphone. So I'm going to keep this muted just for the recording here, but just know that if we unmute this, actually I can mute the other computer. All right, now this is the way everything should look. So you should see the little green lights there. If it's red and covered, then you're muted. Right, same with the camera. So that's how you turn your video and audio on and off. It's not uncommon to have audio problems. Usually when there are audio problems, either it's feedback, which is caused by the sound coming from the speakers and going back into the microphone again, or there is no sound. And you can adjust the no sound problem by clicking that little up arrow next to the microphone. First, you can have all your audio settings here. This just opens up the preferences panel, their settings panel, and you can see all the audio preferences. And again, I mentioned this in the last session, but it's a very good idea to go through all the settings just to find out what settings are there, what you can change, and what maybe you should change. But as you do this, you can see the input drop down, and so some computers have different sound cards, different drivers for them, and if this is set on the wrong thing, then things might not work. So currently, this is the microphone that I'm using. If I use my MacBook Pro built-in microphone, then you can see the sound is changing. It's not quite as loud, and I might have to adjust the input volume. Zoom tries to do this on its own, to automatically adjust, but if that's not working, you can try undoing that and just turning it up as high as you need. You should see these bars not quite hit that last little brick there, but it should come close to it. All right, so I'll turn automatic back on again, and I'll go back to the main microphone that I'm trying to use here. And Zoom should do a good job of keeping that adjusted. If you can't hear anything out of your speakers, test your speaker settings, and are you using the correct thing? And in this case, this I do not believe is correct. So if I test speaker, oh, it is. Okay, it is on. So I have an extra set of speakers on my desk. If I wanted the built-in speakers, I could choose the MacBook Pro built-in speaker system. Right, you may or may not notice a difference there in the audio for the video that I'm making. If you say same as system, that means whatever your computer itself is using, use that. So if everything is working right on your computer, then choosing same as system is generally a good idea. If you want to separate it out, you can, but if you're having problems, go and check those settings and make sure that they're correct. We should have people on site during these classes if you run into problems like this, but just in case those people aren't there, it's a good idea to know what you're working with. All right, same in the video tab. All right, there are some various options. If you don't see yourself, make sure the correct camera is selected, and everything you see when we click the up arrow here should be it's pretty much all the same things that you would go in the audio settings in the settings panel there. All right, same with video. Choose the up arrow. You can choose which camera to use, some other different settings, and this would open up your options again. All right, so those are some of the basic settings for audio and video in Zoom. And when we come back, we'll start looking at these other options. Some of these are extremely useful, so we'll take a look at those when we get back.